and to handle that bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Senate Bill 2121 would criminalize what is known as revenge porn. 46 states currently have statutes that target revenge porn, and Mississippi, currently there is no way to prosecute this in Mississippi. This bill is modeled after Texas statute and would arm prosecutors with the means to effectively prosecute this misconduct. Generally speaking, revenge porn is a term used to describe the dissemination of sexually explicit images or video without the depicted person's permission, usually to cause embarrassment or stress. This can occur between individuals who are or were in a relationship, in instances of human trafficking and other situations. The human trafficking, this also, after they get out of human trafficking, this also, when they, oftentimes there will still be photos and videos out there, and that is just a means for them to continually become be victimized even after they've gotten out of human trafficking. So there's three different, individual can violate this law in three ways. You can look on lines 44 through 62, on line 63 through 69, and line 70 through 74, to see that first, a person violates this law by doing all of the following, and then second, a person violates this law by threatening to release the visual material, and then finally, a person violates this law by promoting on a website or other forum. Mr. Chairman, I believe that the Attorney General's office is here, and if the committee would not mind, I would appreciate you giving them just the opportunity to speak on this bill.
Okay, with unanimous consent, I would ask members from the Attorney General's office just to give us a brief. What I'm most interested in, I guess, with this bill is tell us how it helps to curb the human trafficking aspects that is plaguing our state.
And I'm going to introduce Miss Lindsay Watts, one of my best friends from back home, who's the prosecutor in the cyber crimes unit at the AG's office.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you. Thank y'all for having us here today. My name is Lindsay Watts, and I'm a Special Assistant Attorney General with the Cyber Crimes Division of the AG's office. Specifically in regard to Mr. Chairman's request, the human trafficking aspect of this bill, to me, is it's most impactful in that not only will it help prevent further harm to people who have been trafficked, it may allow them to escape the lifestyle. And when I say that, I mean traffickers can take photos of their victims, utilize this photography in order to keep them engaged and complacent. In other words, it's like a means of extortion. I've got these photographs of you. You will continue to do what I want, or I'll ruin your life. And interestingly, the division that I work in, we prosecute a lot of child exploitation cases. And, that's pornography of children, and we prosecute various types of that: production, distribution, possession. And now we're seeing kind of a newer phenomenon that's being created across the country, and it's commonly referred to as sexploitation. And what happens in those cases is an exploiter is posing as a child, and they're communicating with another child. And in order to engage with them, they're sending that kid photos of children and that are in various states of undress, and saying, hey, I'm sending you pictures. You send me some pictures too. And when they get those photos back, then the veil is off. They're not a kid. They're the exploiter. And they take the kid and they say, here's your photos that you've sent to me. You're going to keep doing these things for me, or I'm going to tell your parents. I'm going to send these out to your friends, and I'm going to ruin your life. So in a way, it's kind of like trafficking of children versus trafficking with adults, that I think that this type of material can be helpful to be prosecuted.
Thank you for that. Any questions for her? Anybody?
Is there an age?
I don't think that the bill limits that, but naturally, some conduct, if you're underage, that's going to be covered in youth court law. You can't be charged with a crime and put into circuit court unless you've committed certain types of crimes as a child. So there could be some youth court implication, I would suppose, to this. So if a child is the one that's disseminating the material, then they could potentially be charged unless there is an age limitation placed in the bill. Does that make sense?
All right. Any other questions for her? Thank you for your explanation. Thank you for bringing this to our attention, and we look forward to moving along in the process.
Thank you all very
I'm
much.
going to I'm going to offer an amendment to put a reverse repealer in this as well. So before I move on, any questions about that? Anyone opposed? All right, so put a reverse repealer in it, and for the edification of the committee, we're probably going to put this in all the bills, a reverse repealer. But be that as it may, are there any questions for the lady on the bill? All right, seeing none, ladies, what's your motion?
Title sufficient do pass as amended?
Yeah, that's right. Title sufficient to pass as amended. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? All right, motion to reconsider. Gentleman from Rankin, motion to table. Gentleman from Union, and that one is gone. Lady, while you got the floor, go ahead and give us Senate Bill 2569.
Sure will. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Senate Bill 2569 makes it unlawful for a person to sell, give away, distribute, market, transport into the state human or synthetic urine or urine additives for the intent of interfering with the results of a drug or alcohol screening test. Upon conviction, a person would be guilty of a misdemeanor, fine of $1,000, imprisonment for 6 months, or both. There is a reverse repealer in this bill, so it will be going to conference.
Any questions? This bill we've passed for at least 3 years out of the House, and it's just one of those that we're not going to take unless they sent to us, which they have. So, any questions for the lady? Title, what's your motion?
Title sufficient do pass as amended.
All right. All those in favor? Any opposed? That one is motion to reconsider. Gentleman from Lafayette, motion to table. Gentleman from Union.
Are we talking about the bill that she already passed?
Had a reverse bill.
Okay, then it's just going to be time sufficient to pass.
Okay.
Because it was sent to us already.
Oh, without the minute.
So we're just
I got you.
passing it, do pass with their reverse
So
bill.
let's
Okay.
redo that.
No,
Motion is
okay.
title sufficient to pass.
Okay.
All those in favor? Motion to reconsider. Gentleman from Lafayette, motion to table. Gentleman from Rankin, that one is gone. Gentleman from Pearl River, give us Senate Bill number 2792.
Hey, Winetta. 2792, reverse repealer. All right, just let me know. 2 years ago, the legislature approved the Fresh Start Act to ensure that no one will be disqualified from a licensed occupation because of a prior criminal conviction unless the crime directly relates to the duties and responsibilities of that occupation. The 2019 law applied only to a few types of licenses. This bill will expand that to include all licenses, maintaining the provision that allows our licensure boards to deny a license if the crime for which the person was convicted relates to the profession. For instance, if someone was convicted of embezzlement, the Board of Accountancy could refuse to give them a license automatically, but the Barber Board could not, unless, of course, it had some other reason that would cause it to deny other applicants as well. Boards won't be able to exclude people for all crimes categorically, but they will be able to define which crimes relate to their profession. Also, if a board already has a process for hearings and appeals, it can keep that process and not switch to the one in this bill. A person may ask a board if their crime would disqualify them from a license issued by that board so that the person doesn't waste time and money getting training and paying for school if they will be disqualified on the outset from obtaining a license. This bill passed the Senate 52-0, and that's an explanation of the bill.
All right, are there any questions for the gentleman?
Okay.
Yeah, gentleman from Lafayette.
Turn it on. All right.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
There we go. So, if I'm in any industry, there's certain things that would apply to all industries, I would think. For example, theft. But is that not the language in this bill? Theft would not exclude somebody from working for the Department of Revenue or an accounting firm or
This is about licensure. This is not about working for the state. This bill pertains to what the state has determined should be an automatic disqualification from obtaining a professional license. This is not ensuring employment. This is ensuring that the state is not disqualifying you from being able to seek that employment for certain crimes that do not relate directly. And again, this is left up to the individual licensure boards. If they want to adopt a policy to say that theft is an automatic disqualification from receiving that license, then that licensure board would be okay doing that under this bill.
Pull it out.
Okay. And the language of this bill, does it exclude anybody from the real estate licensing board or plumbing or electrical or tile or anything like that? Would it exclude them for any previous offense?
No, this bill doesn't exclude them. This bill leaves it to the licensure boards to adopt their policies of exclusion.
Okay.
Gentlemen, is that all the questions you had? All right. Any other questions for the gentleman from Pearl River? Seeing none, gentlemen, what's your motion?
Title sufficient do pass as amended. Oh wait, I'm adding a reverse repealer in it.
First he needs to make a motion.
Motion to add reverse repealer.
Any questions on the reverse repealer? Seeing none, all those in favor? Any opposed? All right, reverse repealer, now what's your motion?
Now title sufficient do pass as amended.
All right, all those in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Motion to reconsider, gentleman from Rankin. Motion to table, gentleman from Starkville, Octibahall. All right, now I will take up Senate Bill 2572. There is a strike all in your packet, and what we're doing with this bill is a couple of things. Gentleman from Octibahall had a DUI bill that we used that we're putting our DUI bill into this one, and we're also the Senate bill also had to do with intervention courts and limiting and helping, very similar to what our intervention court bill did. So we're putting our intervention court bill into that. That's the strike all, is we're adding in gentleman from Octibahall's DUI language, which basically we just want to keep the whole DUI statute open. What his bill does was just allow for a suspension not after 120 days from a conviction, which any of you who practice criminal law know that the DUIs and driver's license is very complicated, and it's difficult to know when your license is getting back or when it's going to be revoked or suspended. The intervention courts, what we did on the intervention in the House was we included DUI language for them to go into intervention courts. We need to work this through the process, so we're putting that strike all in, and I'm not, and when did the strike all have a reverse repealer? Okay, and
It is strike out, but I can add it to, I mean, you can put it in and I'll add it to your strike out.
it has one.
Is that okay?
Okay, so motion is, for any questions? All right, seeing none, my motion is title sufficient, do pass, strike all. All those in favor? Any opposed? All right, seeing none, motion to reconsider, gentleman from Pearl River, motion to table, gentleman from Octibahall. Next is going to be very simple bill, Senate Bill number 2282. Again, going to do an amendment to add a reverse repealer. Any questions on that? All those in favor? Okay, motion, the bill itself is just raising the age of 12, that no child under the age of 12 can go to a training school or be in any type of secure detention, and that is all the bill does. It raises the age of 12. Are there any questions to that? All right, seeing none, my motion is title sufficient, do pass as amended. All those in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Motion to reconsider, gentleman from Tipa. Motion to table, gentleman from Covington. Capitol Police, which is Senate Bill 2434. Before we go, again, going to put a reverse repealer in it. Any questions on that? All right, seeing none, that amended is added. Capitol Police, this is a standalone bill. Earlier in the session, we did the big omnibus DPS bill that included this part of their bill, which was just transferring Capitol Police over under the agency and the Department of Public Safety. This is just a standalone bill in itself. That's all it has to do with, is transferring Capitol Police under the Commissioner of Public Safety's authority. Are there any questions? Okay, seeing none, motion is title sufficient to pass as amended. All those in favor? All right. Any opposed? And then motion to reconsider, gentleman from Rankin. Motion to table, gentleman from Covington. I'm going to skip, for right now, I'm going to skip Senate Bill 2573. I'll come back to it in just a second. 2117 is the next. I think it's in the second packet. And this has to do with, the original bill that's filed has to do with juvenile offenders. We're going to completely strike that, do a strike all. Gwinnett, I don't know that I've told you this. We're going to do a strike all. We're going to put in House Bill 796, which is our habitual offender bill, and add a reverse repealer in that. So that's, the habitual offender bill, again, is, has a 15-year look back on it in order for the habitual offender to apply, and the instant offense has to be a crime of violence in order for a life to apply in the habitual offender bill. So that is an explanation of the amendment, and again, with the reverse repealer. Any questions? All right, seeing none, motion is title sufficient, do pass as amended. We'll do a strike all. Strike all. Motion title sufficient, do pass, strike all. Any opposed? All right, motion is, motion carries. Motion to reconsider, gentleman from Tiba Hall. Motion table, gentleman from Union. Back to the Department of Public Safety, implement uniform reporting standards for jail census data. And that's exactly what you're doing, is we're going to require the Department of Public Safety to keep and maintain records of every person that is in jail in the state of Mississippi, whether it be in a county jail. There are certain things that they have to require, like how long they've been there, of course, what their name is, what they're in jail for, are they pre-trial, are they post-trial. It's just an effort to kind of streamline some of the stuff and really, in my view, kind of protect our cities and counties from some of these lawsuits that are being filed. Amendment is to put a reverse repealer in it and move it along. Are there any questions regarding that? All right, seeing none, motion is title sufficient to pass as amended. All those in favor? Any opposed? All right, that passes. Motion to reconsider, gentleman from Pearl River. Motion to table, gentleman from Union. And I think, ladies and gentlemen, that's everything. Let me make sure. I don't know, twice, yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's it. We will meet again just for suffrage bills, unless something happens between now and the end of the day. This concludes all the general legislation. Do you want to, gentleman from Covington, do you want to tell anything about the suffrage bills? Do you have like any requirements? Do you want them to, you haven't done that yet? Okay. All right, that's it. Like a reminder to the committee, deadline to file those suffrage bills is going to be Friday. So just get those in, and we will try to take them up either next week or the week after. Thank y'all.